Sinclair was a tactical change. I think with Sinclair, I've had to use him this week wisely. But physically, I know that Sinclair struggles. So 5 minutes into the second half on Wednesday, he was cramping everywhere. Tyler Roberts tried to train yesterday to be available and still just felt something in his calf, so I didn't want to take the risk. So hopefully we'll have him and Chris back on Friday night, which will be a huge boost. So I had to ask Sinclair to go again, and I think it was fair to say that he was shattered again at half time. So that's something we need to work on with Sinclair. The way that he plays, or the energy that he uses, he's not able to sustain it, and that's just the youthfulness and the energy that he has. So there's no injury there.
Sinclair, obviously you mentioned he struggles with his body, like obviously he's had quite a few injuries since he started playing football. Like, is there anything you can do about that? Is it just about getting him adjusted to first team football? Is there anything you can sort of work with him?
Yeah, I think emotionally as well he was tired. You know, it was his first start on Wednesday. I tried to hide it from him. I'm not sure if he knew he was starting again today. I wouldn't. You know, this is a boy that came over from Shamrock Rovers and played at Torquay, and he played at Aldershot, and all of a sudden I'm throwing him into a team at the top of the Championship. I think he's done absolutely fantastic for us. I just don't want to break him or push him too hard too soon. You never know how some players recover from games. Everyone's different, and just because he looks a big physical specimen, he's 19 years old, and it's important we keep developing and working with him.
I was watching him very closely on Saturday, and his power and his pace, but every time he does get the ball, it's all about, he ends up having a wrestle with the centre half every time, and he needs to, sometimes you just got, the ball comes to you, you hold it, you lay it, and you move on. He's like turning, running, and to be fair to their centre half, he was as strong as him. So you're coming up against a centre. When I played centre forward, if I was coming up against a centre half who you couldn't outrun him or you couldn't outstrength him, someone like Gary Pallister, when I played against him, I always thought, I can't run him. He's so quick. He's 6'4", so I can't beat him in the air. What am I going to do? So you got to come short and link and spin, or you got to play with your brain a little bit more with your movement. You know, come off it quicker, lay it. One touch layoffs, two touch spin. And Sinclair Armstrong, every time he's getting the ball, he ends up having a wrestle with the centre half. And he's consuming so much energy. No wonder he's so tired. He needs to, the energy levels have to be, sometimes just link the ball and control, link it up, move on again. Not every time wrestle, because you're going to be absolutely cream crackered. If you carry on like that, you can't maintain that level of intensity. It's impossible. So, but he is. I think he's, at the moment, I would say, a very good last 15-20 minute sub, because he's
a great squad member, and he's somebody you love to have in your squad.
20 minutes, if you need someone to disrupt, and his direct style of play is a nightmare for a defender. They don't want to be having a wrestle with him for 20 minutes at the end of the game. And they're tired, do you know what I mean? So he is learning on the job, and I'm sure the coaches are sort of saying to him, look, you just got to lay it off and spin, and don't have to, you know, consume all this energy. You don't have to, you know, wrestle every time you get the ball. Just play a little bit up there as well. But he'll get better with game experience. He should work that out. And like you said, his 19's coming out. He hasn't been in an academy, as in sort of like the English academies come through like the system in Ireland. No disrespect to that, but obviously it's not the sort of same system that they have over here. So it's a work in progress. Harlem, I don't want to talk about Harlem because it's a QPR, but he does the basics like so well. And that's what, if I was Sinclair Armstrong, I'll be watching him. So watch. You can do as much coaching and this, but sometimes if you actually just go to a football match and watch someone, that player, and just say, right, I want to watch. I'm watching him. I'm going to see what he does. You can learn so much. Get the ball, lay it, spin. Look, Sinclair, if you're the opposition and it's 15 minutes to go and you see him coming on, you're like, oh God. It's perfect, isn't it? For the last 15 minutes, you're like, oh, this boy's going to just keep running in behind. Because the last thing a defender wants to do is run that way facing his own goal. They hate it. And if you've got someone who's just constantly doing that, you got to run with him. You're like, oh God, this is a nightmare when you're like a bit tired. But he's a young lad. He's got a lot to learn, but he's got the physical and powerful attributes, hasn't he, of a Premiership player. He's got them physical attributes, but he has to learn the game.